Most people believe wealth comes from earning more money. They think a bigger salary solves everything. But wealthy people know a different truth. Wealth isn't about income. It's about systems. The first system working against you is lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is when your spending grows with your income. Every raise triggers an invisible upgrade in your life. New car. Bigger apartment. Better restaurants. You never see the money again. Your parents' generation could buy a house on one income. That world is gone now. Today's middle class lives larger than ever before. But they own almost nothing. Lifestyle inflation feels like success. It's actually a trap. Here's how it works in real life. Sarah gets a 15% raise. She celebrates by leasing a new SUV. The payment is $350 monthly. That decision costs her $420,000 by retirement. She traded decades of wealth for 3 years of feeling successful. This is the silent wealth killer. Nobody talks about it at the office. Now let's examine the second system, compounding delay. Albert Einstein allegedly called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he said it or not, the math is real. A 22-year-old invests $200 monthly. At 8% annual return, she has $1.2 million at 65. Her friend waits until 35 to start investing. He invests the same $200 monthly at the same rate. He only accumulates $480,000 by 65. Same amount invested. Same rate. $120,000 difference. That friend lost $800,000 in potential growth. The cost of waiting just 13 years is enormous. Delaying compounding doesn't just cost you money. It costs you time. Time is the only non-renewable resource in wealth building. Every year you delay, the math becomes harder to overcome. This is why financial advisors push starting early. It's not motivation. It's mathematics. Now let's expose the third system working against you, debt traps. Debt is sold as financial flexibility. It's actually financial chains. Credit card companies profit from minimum payments. They want you paying forever. A $5,000 balance at 22% becomes $17,000 with minimum payments. You pay 3 times the original amount over 20 years. Student loans follow the same predatory pattern. Federal loans accumulate interest while you're in school. By graduation, many owe more than they borrowed. Then they enter the workforce starting behind. Car loans trap people in a cycle of depreciation. A new car loses 20% of its value in year 1. You owe more than it's worth for 5 years. This is called being upside down on your loan. Meanwhile, your asset disappears and your debt remains. Debt doesn't just cost money. It costs options. Options to invest. Options to leave bad jobs. Options to take risks. Wealthy people protect their options by avoiding bad debt. They use debt strategically for assets that appreciate. Everyone else uses debt for things that depreciate. This creates the wealth gap that widens every decade. Now we reach the deepest layer, behavioral finance. Money decisions are rarely logical. They're emotional. The brain treats money differently depending on context. Loss feels twice as powerful as equivalent gain. This is called loss aversion. It makes people avoid investing during downturns. They sell at the bottom instead of buying cheap. Then they buy back in at the top. This single behavior destroys more wealth than any market crash. Social comparison drives another destructive pattern. We compare ourselves to people one level above us. This creates constant dissatisfaction and spending to keep up. Social media amplifies this effect dramatically. Highlight reels of success make average feel like failure. People spend to maintain appearances instead of building wealth. Another behavioral trap is mental accounting. People treat money differently based on its source or intended use. A tax refund feels like free money. It's not. It's your own money returned. Yet people spend it immediately. A raise gets spent before it's even received. The brain creates artificial categories that lead to poor decisions. Present bias is another wealth destroyer. Humans value immediate rewards over future benefits. We'd rather have $100 today than $120 in a year. This is irrational but completely human. It explains why retirement accounts feel pointless to young people. The reward is too far away to feel real. Hyperbolic discounting makes future you seem like a stranger. Why should present you sacrifice for some future person? This feeling is natural. It's also expensive. Now let's examine how wealthy people think differently. They understand that wealth is a skill, not luck. They build systems that work automatically. They automate savings before any spending happens. The money that hits checking is what remains after investing. This reversal of order changes everything. Wealthy people also understand the difference between price and value. An expensive car is a price. Transportation is the value. They buy value and ignore price when possible. They invest in assets that generate income. Real estate, businesses, index funds, intellectual property. These assets work while they sleep. They also protect wealth aggressively. They avoid lifestyle inflation by design. They live below their means intentionally. This creates a gap between income and lifestyle. That gap becomes investable wealth. Over decades, the gap grows into financial independence. The wealthy don't work for money. Money works for them. This is the fundamental shift that changes everything. Now let's talk about what you can actually do. First, track your spending for 1 month without judgment. Awareness comes before change. Second, identify your lifestyle inflation triggers. What spending increases happened with your last raise? Third, automate your savings on payday, not at month's end. Fourth, attack high-interest debt with the debt avalanche method. Pay minimums on everything except the highest interest debt. Fifth, start investing even small amounts immediately. Time in the market beats timing the market. Sixth, build a buffer of 3 to 6 months expenses. This protects you from debt when surprises happen. Seventh, learn one income generating skill deeply. Skills compound faster than money. These steps aren't sexy. They're effective. Wealth building is boring by design. Exciting financial plans usually involve someone else's profit. The wealthy build slowly and steadily. They understand that slow is fast in the long run. A 22-year-old who invests $300 monthly will have more than a 35-year-old investing $500 monthly. Time is that powerful. Now let's address a common objection. What if you started late? What if you're already behind? Starting late is better than not starting at all. A 50-year-old who invests for 15 years will have more than someone who never invests. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. Wealth building isn't about perfection. It's about direction. Small consistent actions beat dramatic gestures. The person who saves 50 weekly for 30 years beats the person who saves 500 once. Systems beat motivation every time. This is why wealthy people focus on building systems, not chasing opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere if you have the capital and knowledge to use them. Capital comes from consistent saving over time. Knowledge comes from learning about money systems. Both are available to anyone willing to learn and wait. The wealthy patient outlasts the impatient. Now let's bring this all together. Most people never build wealth because they don't understand the systems working against them. Lifestyle inflation steals their raises before they arrive. Compounding delay makes waiting exponentially more expensive. Debt traps drain their income for decades. Behavioral biases make them sabotage themselves repeatedly. Understanding these systems is the first step to escaping them. The second step is building wealth building systems instead. Automate savings. Live below your means. Invest consistently. Protect your time. Build valuable skills. Accumulate assets. These aren't secrets. They're just not popular. Building wealth requires doing things that feel wrong. Saving when everyone spends. Waiting when everyone wants now. Learning when everyone wants to act. The lonely path of wealth is lonely for a reason. Most people aren't willing to stay on it long enough. But you can be different. You now understand what most people never learn. The systems. The math. The psychology. You can see the trap before you're inside it. That's already more than most people will ever have. Now take one action today. Any action. Just one. Check your savings rate. Calculate your debt interest. Start a retirement account. Progress beats perfection every time. If you found this useful, follow for more business stories and hidden money systems. We explore how wealth actually works, not how it's supposed to work. Subscribe and hit the bell for new explainers every week. Until next time, keep building.